Okay, so this is Ringwalk Media in association with Well Ice Therapy. It's taken a little while because he's been celebrating, but we currently have the WBA International Champion, Conor Walker, with us. Ding dong, mate.
Ding dong, mate. You know it.
I'll tell
Class.
you what, pal, you absolutely stole the show against Cyrus Patterson. What an absolute storming fight, mate. And it's going to be hard to beat that for fight of the year anywhere this year.
Yeah, cheers, mate. It was well, as you said, it was a ding dong. I enjoyed it. I enjoyed the fact that not many people out there thought I was going to do it, but proved a lot of people wrong, and I think that's put me sort of well up there in people's eyes, and obviously it's put me in a good position.
Well, I'll tell you what, talking of putting you up there, you're number 9 now in the rankings, mate. And you're not that far
Yeah,
away from a certain Errol Spence.
crazy, isn't it? That absolutely crazy. I couldn't believe it myself.
I'll tell you what, I saw your post on Instagram. I think it was yesterday that came out, or yesterday evening. The price has just trebled.
The price has just gone up, mate. The price has
But
just
listen,
gone up.
let's have a little chat about the fight week, mate, because obviously we didn't get to chat to you afterwards. You were off getting your medical done, making sure you're all okay, and celebrating with your family, which is exactly what you should have been doing after this amount of time. Um, I mean, what a fight! All week we interviewed you, I think, on the Thursday. You just looked calm, collected. I mean, I've seen you on Fight Week before. You've never been that calm, and you were so adamant you were going to win. Why were you so adamant you were going to win that week?
I think I just I connected all the dots. Everything went right in camp. I felt like I knew where I was going wrong, and obviously it was sort of just I couldn't put my finger on it with the fights like in the past, and I figured if I was going out there to try and hurt people, it doesn't always work like that. And obviously I needed to go and start enjoying myself and just embracing the moment. And I thought, like, look, I've got this massive opportunity in Birmingham for the WBA International title. Like, I can't throw away. And I thought, and I thought through camp, I figured a way how to beat the kid. And yeah, I just visualized it, and I made everything come to light on the night, which I visualized over the camp. And yeah, I just knew how to beat him, and it was sort of me just listening to the instructions off my coach, and obviously just boxing to the game plan, and that's all it was. I knew the only person that could lose the fight was myself, in terms of like he could bring whatever he wanted. If I just stuck to my game plan and my guns, and kept my composure, then there was no way he's going to beat me. And the same will happen in the rematch. If he calls for the rematch, we'll obviously make a few tweaks, and I'll just be a bigger and stronger fighter.
We'll talk about the rematch in a minute, but just talk us through the fight because I mean the atmosphere was unbelievable, mate. It was for a next gen show. I think it's actually better than one of the bigger shows. It was a brilliant night. Every fight on the card actually was superb. You know, Kane Gardner in particular, he had a cracking night as well.
Yeah, yeah,
Um,
yeah,
but your fight, I mean, you had him down in the third, I think, the fifth and the sixth.
yeah.
Eddie was going particularly mad, I think, in the sixth because he thought it was a slip, but actually, we did the slow mo and you definitely chinned him. I mean, when you
Every
got to that
single, every
third knock,
single. Go on, sorry,
I was
I interrupted
to
you.
say
Carry on.
when you got to that third knockdown, did you know in your heart that you got him?
I knew I had him from, say early in the fight, because it was like every punch I was connecting with was hurting him. And yeah, I couldn't miss him in parts. I couldn't miss him, and he had a few good spells in the fight. But I knew I was gonna get. I mean, I was getting to him every round, and it doesn't take a clever man to see that. I mean, sorry, my lad. Um,
All right.
yeah, like I was getting to him, and I was hurting him. And anyone could see that. So, like I say, it was only a matter of time. But then again, I was happy to box him up into the 10 rounds, because I knew I was up on the scorecards with 3 knockdowns. So like, I mean, I was happy to, I had 2 rounds left after when it got stopped. I mean, I was well up on the cards. I mean, I was winning the rounds anyway, along with the
Yeah,
knockdowns. I mean, I never went out there to knock him out. In all honesty, I went out there to put on a clinical boxing performance, and just get the win because I knew where the win had put me. Um,
yeah.
so yeah, like I say, in terms of stopping him, that was never part of the plan. I just needed to win the fight.
I mean, you talk about the cards, you're absolutely right. Howard Foster had you 78, 71 after eight. Jean-Robert Liam had you at 77, 72, and Jesus Garcia 77, 73. So even on the last one, you're way, way ahead with 2 rounds to go.
Yeah, well, that's what I thought. Obviously, that's why he's obviously his corner of. They're not. I mean, obviously, it doesn't take a brain. He had to work out the scorecards, and he had to stop me to win the fight, and he just nothing was hurting me with his punch power. I just didn't respect his punch power. It was one where like I know I've got a chin. I know, and I don't. It's not something I want to be known for. I don't want to be known for the guy who's got the chin of the year, but it's always there. I know I've got that to sort of fall back on, but
Yeah,
yeah, nothing was hurting me. So I knew I was up on the cards, and I thought 2 more rounds. But it was one of them where like at the end of the eighth, I think he'd seen me picked it up at the end of the eighth. If it was 10 more seconds, I would have stopped him in that round. So I
yeah.
knew like if I smelt blood at the end of them after if he come out on them last 2 rounds, he was gonna go without a shadow of a doubt because I smelt the blood at the end of that round, and yeah, I think obviously that showed.
It's quite ironic actually because the fifth and the sixth round, he actually started coming back at you, and those are the 2 rounds you knocked him down. So you kind of
Yeah,
play into your hands coming at you at that point.
listen, I mean, people talk about his amazing amateur career, and yeah, he has. He's boxed around the world, and he's done things in the amateurs which I haven't done. But I've been a pro now, 6 years, 5, 6 years, and them
Yeah,
5, 6 years paid dividends in that fight because he hasn't been to the places I've been, and I knew that. And that's when I said people, someone of his, um, level of, I mean, sort of 6 fights into his career, you could not be going in there with a person like me who's been there and been in them tough, grueling fights, and I know my way around the ring for 10 rounds. He's still yet to find that out, and that's what I mean. Like going into a rematch with him, it's like if he does come into a rematch, his team obviously doesn't fucking like him because, uh, uh, you know, I beat him once there, and I'm just going to beat him even worse the second time around because the shots I was cashing with, I can just tweak them shots to not miss again. Do you know what I mean? There's only certain things he can do to avoid them shots, and all I've got to do is sort of adapt and tweak and beat him again and beat him in better fashion.
I mean, to be fair, I don't know what was in your contract with him. Is there a rematch clause on his side if he lost? Because
Yeah,
if
yeah.
I
If he
were,
left,
if,
yeah, he can call for a rematch.
right, okay, so I was going to say, at that point, you've got the belt, you sort of hold all the marbles. But if that rematch clause is in there, then there's not a lot you can do about that, is there?
Yeah, but I mean, I'm just happy to get back out there and match him on a massive show, whether it be that or whether it be something else. Like, just like I'm in a position now where I'm absolutely chuffed to pieces. I've worked, you know, since I was 18 years old now when I started boxing to be in a position
Yeah,
like this, and sometimes after the last season, after the post decisions and whatnot, and you always think, do like is it ever going to happen? Am I ever going to get that stroke of luck? And I got the stroke of luck, I got the call, and then all I had to do was sort of do what I know I could do, if you know what I mean. I always knew that day was
yeah,
coming because I know I've got it in the locker. Do you know what I mean? And it just
yeah.
proved.
So that moment in the ring when you drop to your knees, you're announced as the champion. What did that feel like, mate? What was that? Because, like you say, you've had 15 fights, you've been at it 6 years. This was your moment, wasn't it?
Yeah, I mean, like I can't remember I said it to you. I mean, if you could bottle up that feeling and sell it, you'd be a multi millionaire because it's a feeling that you can't buy, and only boxers can try and explain it to you. It's just like the best feeling in the world because you put your body through so much it's
Yeah,
unreal. Like from dieting to the early morning runs, to the track runs, to the strength conditioning, to the sparring, the grueling sparring. I mean, it's tough work, and obviously putting that inside of a life where I've got a family, I'd go off and do my work, and my life's not. Um, my life's busy. Do you know what I mean? So it's like keeping up with my social life, my family life, my boxing life. It's a lot to take in, and then obviously that feeling when you win, it's just unreal.
yeah, and of course you're a dad as well, so that
Yeah,
that sense of achievement that you can show your son or your daughter, you know, what you've achieved as a man. I mean, that feeling is just priceless, isn't it?
that's just a start. To be honest, I mean that's what I've worked my arse off to get to this point. Now, I mean, this is now I've got the promotional sort of you know, I've got a few. I mean, like I said, I've got a few fights already here now. Touch wood, and big shows, big fights in front of me, and I just want to build off that performance there, and obviously, I think people are going to see an even better me coming out next fight because I haven't gone. I mean, I've been back in the gym, back working, and I'm just eager to get back out there. That's,
What an absolute fight! And your good friend Brad Ray was there, obviously, as well with all the lads.
yeah,
And he said to me the other day, when we interviewed him Saturday night at Eubank
yeah.
Smith, he was so pleased for you because
Dogs
you
it.
know he knows how hard you've worked. He knows just what that means to you.
Yeah, it's I mean, there's no secret in the year that Brad's had. He's not had the best year, and obviously after the fight, I went back. Um, I went back and I was chilling on my bed. And I was just absolutely obviously aching, whatnot. I went to meet a few of the boys. Um, Again, I went there and I was sat there just thinking, oh, I'm too bad. So I went and got a big, spent £20 in the kebab shop. Come back to the hotel, laid down my belt. Brad messaged me. I was on FaceTime Brad for about half an hour, just discussing, chatting about, you know, uh, where he wants to go. Let's give him that kick up the arse. I mean, that is not kick up the arse. Just give him that more motivation to realise that there is things out there that you do get the chances, and things do work as long as you just stay consistent. And there's no doubt about it. Brad has just literally got skills that are on my level and more. Do you know what I mean? He's really good. Do you know what I mean? I've trained with him for many years, and I think me doing that has just showed it can be done.
Even
Because obviously after this year with the loss and obviously the brain scan stuff, um, the switch trainers and everything. Obviously, it's a lot, and at the age he's at, it's a lot to deal with. So now I'm hoping he kicks on and goes and does himself proud and does everyone around him proud. And the people that have his mates that know what he can do and sort of obviously respect him as a man. We all know he can do it. He's just got to go and prove it to himself.
well, listen, we're looking forward to Brad out actually very shortly on a VIP show.
Yeah.
Going to get him back in the ring, get the ring rust off. He's still got 2 fights left with his promoter as well. So hopefully we'll see the pair of you maybe towards the end of this year on massive, massive platforms, which will be really good. And please God, don't make it the same night.
Oh, we'll see. We'll see.
So listen, we're going to talk about rematch now. I know you've obviously there is a rematch clause in there, but just put that to aside for a minute. I'm going to reel some names off to you, and you can pick one. Okay. And bearing
Yeah,
in
yeah.
mind, these are only about 3 or 4 places away from you. Okay. So you've got Taylor, you've got Avanesian, you've got Ramos, you've got Errol Spence, Thurman, Mestra, Walker, Rocha, Barros. I mean, these are huge, huge names. If you could pick any one of those, and bearing in mind there's a few more that we haven't reeled off, who would you have?
Um,
Dream fight.
Dream fight would be just a massive name. Like a massive name, like a Thurman or a Spence, and just like put my name in history books. I mean, like I feel like you can beat anyone with the right mind frame, and the right right game plan. So yeah, just a massive no. I've still like there's no doubt about it. I've still got a lot of learning to do. I mean, I've watched that fight now back about 100 times, and I've seen things things that I need to improve on and get better at. So I'm not going to kid myself and say I will be, because I'm definitely not. I'm still learning on the job, like I've always said.
Yeah.
So obviously, just take it step by step. I'm 28 years old. I mean, I've always said, when me and the missus speak about what the plans are, I've always said, 32 to up to 34, but depending on how I'm feeling at the time, at the time, then that's where I want to go. This is me done. So I'm 28 now. I've still got, say, 5 years minimum left in the game. So I've developed my man strength now. I've understood that dropping too much weight is never the always best thing to do. I mean, now I'm right. I'm just where I need to be in terms of welterweight. That's my weight. And that there's so many good dust ups in the UK for me to do. I mean, I still want to have a stab at the British. That's something any UK fighter wants. So that's something that I want to do. And obviously, yeah, I just want to build. And now it's like every fight is going to be a massive fight. There's not going to be um, no one less than top 20 UK. I'm not gonna stoop down to. I'm never gonna be fighting sort of journeyman and stuff like that. It's always gonna be a top fights now, which I'm eager. I'm eager for.
You mentioned there the British title. Samuel Antwi's just taken that title. And
Yeah,
obviously
I think
you,
you mentioned, yeah, in your interview with him.
you
But,
both obviously before. I mean that would be and I think it was a points as well. So maybe that sort of fight would be a great fight, a revenge.
yeah, I mean, like obviously, I asked the rematch with the English, and he was like, he said, "Go and get some jewels to come back with," because obviously it was too much of a tough fight for him to just say, here's a rematch. So, obviously, he's up at super welterweight now. I mean, let me just do what I got to do at welterweight if we ever meet. But I'd like to meet. I'd like to get my win that I thought I deserved. But no knocking him. He's a great fighter, and I always knew that he could go on and do things like that. It's just like you say, just staying consistent and learning from your losses. And obviously, he went on to do that, and I've learned a lot from that fight. I mean, without that fight, I wouldn't have been able to do what I've done on with the Cyrus fight. It is what it is.
It's an incredibly close fight as well. That one, I think Victor Loughlin called um, 96, but could have gone either way. It was a last round sort of shootout, really, down in Cardiff, wasn't it?
Yeah. I mean, I thought I won, but that's in the past now, and I can't. I've had enough of talking to that now. I've had enough of talking about that because you haven't done that much about that at the time. I'm bored of talking about that, and now it's almost like I've spoke about this Cyrus and me now for the last 3 weeks, and I just can't wait to talk about another massive one. You know what I mean? Get another one out there and go, bloody hell! You've done it again, Conor. So I just keep proving myself, and I knew that I was, I've always had them in the locker, them performances in the locker, and just about getting the promotional backing, getting the slots on the big shows.
Yeah.
And I keep getting them. I keep keep showing people what I'm about.
I don't know if there's something, I don't know if you've noticed it, but in the WBA welterweight rankings, you're ranked ninth now, okay? And you've had 15 fights. But
Yeah,
everyone around you has had 27, 28, 29, 28, 30 fights. So that really stands you in good stead, doesn't it? You're a young fighter that's got the world at his feet now. There's one or two in there, like Gabriel Mister. He's only had 7 fights, but everybody else around you has had, there's 27, 26, 27 fights. So,
yeah.
it looks, it looks good for you.
It, you know what it is? Because if even like the likes of Cyrus GB squad, the people that have obviously like that lad you just mentioned there, like 8 fights in. These are the fighters that are getting the rankings because of what they've done in the amateurs. I mean, I've done I've done a fair bit in the amateurs myself. You know, like I won a few things in the amateurs. But I think when the transition from amateur to pro is such a massive jump. Where people, you know, like it's underestimated the fact that when you're coming off the GB setup or whatever, and like high level amateur, yeah, you're a great boxer, but you've still got to tick certain boxes on these 10 to 12 round fights. Um, you can be fit as you want in the gym. It's different putting it in there on a 10, 12 round fight on fight night. You've got to fight because you mentally, without doing it, you don't know if you can actually do whatever you've done in the amateurs, and however good you think you are, if you haven't been in them places where someone's in front of you and they're keeping coming, they're gonna keep coming at you and hitting you from all angles. If you've never been in them positions there, you doubt yourself. And obviously with the likes of Cyrus, he's been knocked over a few times in the amateurs and whatnot, and that's where I knew that I can beat him through the rounds, and I knew I was going to catch hold of him once I tagged him. I keep tagging him. I'm going to keep hurting him and keep hurting him, and yeah, the rest was that. But yeah, in terms of my rankings, I'm obviously that's all just a piece of paper. Do you know what I mean? I know I can't think I'm a world beater and go and fight these top names at the minute because, like I said, I'm still only 15 fights in. I've still got another 5 to 10 learning fights. Where I need to literally polish my craft until I know I'm ready to go and take them fights. You won't see me all the money in the world they can offer me. You won't see me going and doing it because when I'm ready to make that jump to world level, I want to be there to stay rather than just going for a payday and coming back home and selling the belt or going and just doing it for the money. I'd rather be there and then say, I've got a real chance in this and give myself the best chance possible.
Well, so we just want to mention your manager, Mick. Um, great lad. Those people who don't know Mick Carney, he's a proper boxing man. Just how much has Mick helped you get to the stage you're at, mate?
Me and Mick have been together from the start. He's like a fuck. Sorry about my language. He's like an uncle to me. He's a real good man, and he says whatever he says he does. There's no beating around the bush. He's one of the realists, one of the real ones out there, which is obviously hard to find in boxing. So I just want to obviously big props to him. And in terms of he's always said to me, get yourself to 10 fights. That's when we'll start. That's when you'll start getting your opportunities. This, that, and the other, because of this, that, and the other, and that's really what happened. We got up to 10 fights. So we had obviously, I think we had 6 fights in our first year. Busy. I said I want to be busy. I want to learn my craft. I want to, this is what I want to do. This is what I want to do. And I told him everything I want to do. And he's never said no. I don't think we can do that. He's like, yeah, let's do it. You know what I mean? And
Yeah,
we've got a good team in terms of Richie Gent, my coach, Mick Carney, Errol Johnson's obviously they co-manage me. So we've got a good group of knowledge and level heads, and we all have a discussion about things and move forward with it. We're happy with the team we've got, and to the top we go.
I'll let you into a little secret now. Absolutely kill me for this. So you were having your TV interview with Eddie Hearn and all the rest of it, and I was on one side of
Yeah.
the walkway, on the other, and we sort of looked at each other, and he was like, "Yes," and he had tears flooding
Ah.
down his. He was
You
so
know what?
happy
There's
for.
loads of people have told me they're crying, man. But that's the thing because like the people, like you say, he's been there from the start. He's seen what I put in. He's seen the decisions we've had, and some people can just go off and take the decision. Just go, oh fuck that game. I've had enough. But every time I've took the loss, I've gone right. Where have we gone wrong? Where can we improve? Where are we going to go next? This is where we've done wrong. This is where we've gone wrong. This is how we're going to improve. It's not a loss. We learn from it. But yeah, like I say, I'll be crying same way if he went out and had the biggest win of his life. That's just the way it is. There's no shame in that at all.
Of course, we've changed, as you can see, we've changed location because a certain gentleman's phone died. He's been too busy on the phone. But listen, we're nearly done. I'm just going to go into a couple of questions. We can't let you go without talking about the Eubank Smith fight at the weekend. And of course, Conor Benn was ringside. Took great pleasure in trashing Chris Eubank's performance. And obviously, that fight is definitely going to happen, regardless of what's going on outside of that. Just give us your opinions on first of all the Eubank Smith fight, and then also what you think about the Conor Benn Eubank fight potentially.
Yeah, like I was saying before, I found I'm a massive Smith fan, still am. And but now I'm a massive Eubank fan, just from how he's come back, how he's dealt with all that stick, and kept stuck to his guns and done what he said he was going to do, which I think is absolutely an amazing thing to do because he's obviously going to be doubting himself, doubting the chin that he's always thought he's had, and to come back and do something like that to a seasoned pro in Liam Smith after how the fight before went. I mean, I just think it's absolutely great, and I'll never slag Chris Eubank off again. I'll hold him in high regards, and I think that's what boxing's all about. I've had them. I've had times where I've gone away and I thought, how do I come back from that? And then you pull nights out like I done the other week, and like he's just done there, and I just take my hat off to him. And obviously in terms of the Conor Benn fight, I was absolutely buzzing for it last time, and I'm buzzing for it now. There's, I mean, Conor Benn, he talk quite regular on socials. I get on with him. I think he's a good kid, and I rate him for what he's done and how he's performed, and I think that's going to be a right dust up, a right ding dong.
All right, ding dong, but not as good
That's
as
it.
your ding dong, mate. No.
I mean, you know what? It's got the makings to be. I think the name, what the ball was doing. I think obviously it could be the making of something like the Eubank and Benn that the dad story. He has the potential to go up there with the greats and put themselves in the history book. So I'm looking forward to it, and I just hope it's as competitive as their dad's was, and I'm really looking forward to that fight and what it brings.
And I think we just touch back on the Smith and Eubank fight. We all picked up on it in fight week because obviously as media we get to be quite close. We see what's going on around the camps, and seeing it on the TV just isn't the same as speaking to people and being in and around that atmosphere. Liam was very, very vocal. No, I know he was last time, but not like this. He was very vocal, and Chris he was in a different zone. I've never ever seen Chris Eubank as concentrated and as calm as he was on Fight 8. We had a little sensation that maybe Chris has just got the edge on Liam this week, and so it was. I still think that Liam Smith's got plenty to offer boxing, and he said he wants to become a world champion again. I know this will hurt his pride, but I still think he's got enough in the tank to have one more go. What do you think?
Listen, like I said, if it's up there and it's in here, no one can tell you that you can't because literally, I was talking to a friend of mine earlier, and we were talking about literally this Smith and Eubank, and I said that boxing is 80% mental. It's 80% the mind. I mean, if you can get that right, and just have yourself a decent camp, if you believe, it can happen. It can definitely happen. So anyone who says that they can't, then anyone who says that says to yourself that I don't think you can do that. Then people are just made to just be far away from you as possible because they're the haters who don't want you to succeed. So yeah, like if that's what he's in his dreams and that's where he wants to go, then who's to tell him that he can't do it?
And like you say, the Conor Benn and Chris Eubank fight is a historic fight because of the fathers. We all wanted to see it last time, and regardless of what's gone on, we all want to see it this time. We're all going to watch it. I spoke to Conor in an interview briefly on Saturday, and I ran out of questions. I didn't actually have anything to ask him because we've done it for so many months, and
Yeah,
I literally just said, you know what, I just want to see you fight again. And I think that's how I personally
yeah,
feel, and other boxers, and people in and around, they just want to see that fight and get it done so that people can get on with their careers.
you know what? I was literally I think I was watching one of Conor Benn's interviews, and I just admire him because every one of his interviews, they're asking the same question, this, that, and he's keeping his cool, he's answering the questions, and he ain't, like he's not ducking anything. He's saying this, saying that, and like if I was him, I'd be going, just ask me something else. Do you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah,
but that's boxing, and that's where you guys are obviously there to ask questions and obviously do the digging. But like like you said, I just can't wait for him to just. It's been going on for that long now. I just want to see him get in there. And
yeah.
it must be just so difficult because boxing for most of us is a savior. It helps us live our lives comfortably and happy because half the time for me it's a release. It's what makes me walk down the street every day happy and with a smile on my face. So without it, it can do horrible things, I think.
Well, listen, it's been an absolute pleasure to catch up with you, mate. And I know you've had a bit of time off with the family, and very, very well deserved. Like you said, you've had a very, forensic camp, and it was a good camp, but a very, hard camp. So all deserved. Um, you're going to love this bit. We give the last word to Mr. Brad Ray. He's fighting 6th of October in Liverpool at the Grand Central Hall on a VIP. It's his comeback. You're going to come down and watch him.
I'm there, man. I'm there for everyone. He knows that, and and anyone from Wolverhampton who's watching, I'm going to be driving up. So if you fancy coming along with me, then obviously any of my mates more than welcome to jump on. Me and Jacob, my friend, we always go to support him. He always comes to support
Yeah.
us. So I mean, yeah, we'll be definitely going up there and rooting for him, and he's going to go do the business, the boy.
And it'll kill me because he says don't call it a comeback, but I've just done that, so he's going to give me grief over that. Well, listen, mate,
Yeah, well,
it's been superb to speak to you. I mean, you've got your strap; it's well deserved. Could see how much it meant to you on the night, and no one was more happy than me, more so than we got chucked out for cheering. So, but it was worth
yeah,
it, mate. And
yeah,
we hope to see either that rematch come along, or for you to step up and get one of those dream fights and make some money and make some legacies, mate. So, whatever you do, we
that's
can't
it.
wait to see it, mate. And
Yeah,
we
well, no
wish you
doubt we'll catch up.
and we wish you and
Go
your
on, sir.
family well, mate.
Thank you very much. No doubt we'll catch up soon. And yeah, mate, I mean, probably next time I'll rub shoulders with you probably at Brad's fight. So yeah, I'll probably end up seeing you there.
We will do, mate.
Okay,
Right, Conor
mate.
Walker, thank you so much for your time. We appreciate it.